because I know we have a lot to get through today. But I wanted to congratulate Sam. He won our raffle yesterday. Congratulations. The team told me we got you hooked up. So congratulations from Escrow Partners. We're excited to see where your business goes over these next few weeks. So congratulations, Sam. I also wanted to just ask you guys if you could help me with our bold goal. So Escrow Partners has been coming in and sponsoring individuals, and we like to support you guys in any way we can. So one of the ways that you can help us so we can continue to help you would be if you wouldn't mind giving us a referral. So it's the same thing for those of you that were here in the room yesterday. It was us getting into action, asking people. There are people in this room, I won't call out names, but that are agents that do a lot of business that maybe did more business because they were in the room yesterday. So it's not to put anyone on the spot, but just to say sometimes even I get in my own way, and I know I should be doing this more often. So if you don't mind, grab your phone, scan the QR code. It's going to take you to a Google form. All I'm asking you, it can be a person in Metro, but likely it's somebody outside of Metro because I do get in front of you guys at Metro a lot. So if you know an agent, say you closed a deal on the buy side and there was a listing agent that you were like, oh, they were cool. I don't know if they've ever met Escrow Partners. I would love if you would just throw their name into that Google form. If you have their contact form, bonus points, I'll go bring you an extra cookie, throw that in there. If not, all I need is a name. I will hunt them down and find them and say very nice things to them and be very nice. So we would love for everyone to give us a referral. I will post this on our Facebook page as well, so that if you don't have it in the moment, you need to go back to your computer. But I would love that. That would really help us so that we can continue to give back to you guys. Hi, come on in.
I'll take a cookie.
Yeah.
I'll take something.
Yeah, right? I know. That's a good deal. A cookie for my recommendation? That was a good offer. Okay, so that will be up. The last thing yesterday was like an aha for me. And, you know, again, I was in the room with a lot of agents that already do production, right? That's, they're already doing their business. But I think one of the things, and I want to share a couple numbers with you guys, and then I'm out of your hair. But there's some real math to it, right? I'm a math girly. I actually like the math side of things. If you were a brand new agent, right? I went to like Nancy and Ari, like most restrictive, like how are you going to make the least amount of money in real estate in San Diego? So if you're brand new in the PC program and you're still like, there's still a coaching split in there, you help one buyer with the purchase of one $500,000 home. I made some assumptions because all commissions are negotiable. I assumed that you were only going to make 2% buyer agent agreement, right? I'm really pushing here. If you did that, because of the actions and intention that you put in, because you purposefully showed up and you were in a room of people doing the work that continue to do the work outside of it and coming together for, let's call it 6 weeks, you would make more than 4x your investment for one deal. And nobody broke the math down like that for me the first time I did it. And I needed some people to show me math. That's what it took for me. So I just wanted to share that because I think for people in the room that did it and got some referrals, you know you'll make way more than what your investment is in just that one deal. So I'd only say that because if math is your thing, come chat with me. I'm happy to have an honest conversation. I get nothing out of it. So I just wanted to share that because it's something someone did for me back in the beginning. If you have any questions, ask me, ask Nancy, ask Ari. There's a lot of things that they're doing to try to make this a reality. And part of the reason I wanted to talk about this today, and before I turn it over, the reason I want to talk about it is because last week when I presented that we acknowledged that there have been more cancellations, that houses are on the market for longer, right? This is the reality of where we are in our market. And when I looked in the room, there was a lot of dead faces. And I was like, hold on, this is not the inspiring moment that I would love it to be for you guys, because I have other agents, some of those are in this room, who are crushing it and having their best year ever and are in the top 0.5% of realtors in the nation. So I don't want to give you guys the wrong idea. So I pulled numbers just now. I came in the room early to pull these. In the last week, July 30th to August 5th, in San Diego County, how many properties do you think sold? Just 1 week, San Diego County sold properties just in 1 week.
800.
Well, that went high.
Attached and detached. Those are the only numbers I know. Doesn't include mobile homes.
Yeah. So we had 471 that sold, that came through on a sale. But now tell me the number for listed. What did you just say?
800.
Yeah. So we were at 736, right? this is just pulling off SDAR, no qualifications. I just looked literally just for this week. The other thing I will say is a lot of people are trying to push to get in by the end of the year, so the first couple of days, sometimes it doesn't translate to the trends that you see on a monthly basis. But what these numbers say to me is, for my business, I am also an agent in addition to working for escrow partners, I only need one of each of these. Like if I had one of each of these a week, that would be 52 in a year. I don't need 52 deals to live a very happy life here in San Diego. So for me, that's doable, right? If I'm only looking for one in 736 or one in 471, that's gonna be just fine for me. So I don't want you guys to get discouraged because houses are on the market for longer, because the other number that's up right now is listings. So there is a lot of opportunity. And then the last thing I will leave you with is, I've been asking agents, how is the market? I like to get a reality check, right? I want to hear the honest truth. The other thing I'm hearing is that if you have buyers, it's kind of fun right now because there are options. And for a while, we were scrapping and killing ourselves to try to get people into homes. There's opportunity out there right now. I'm sure, is Ed still talking today? Is he coming on? No, he's not. If Ed was going to talk today, I bet he would say something about there was a little drop in rates. Ask Ed if you want like the actual numbers, but like that little bit may be enough to move your buyers you were talking to at the beginning of the year that were waiting for their rate drop. This is the moment, friends. Like get them in, because if rates do drop more, what happens? If rates drop,
More buyers are coming out. More competition.
More competition, more buyers. Get that word out to your buyer clients right now, because they have this sweet moment in time where they've got some opportunity. So don't let it distract you that homes are on the market longer. Just get into action. So that's why I wanted to have a quick conversation about Bold, just because I know there were some people in the room that were hesitant and that maybe weren't all in when they showed up in the room. But after doing the actions just in one day, they were like, oh, I can do so much more, and they know it'll show up in their business. So please, again, I get nothing out of it if you sign up. So if you want to have a conversation, maybe please ask me. No Ed, so I'm passing to Kareem.
Yes.
Here, I'm enough.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited for this meeting today. We have a great couple of things coming up. We've been excited to bring in someone to talk about new builds, because as we know, that is a great option for our buyers, for some of our buyers, and seasoned and new agents alike may not have a lot of knowledge about new builds. So we brought in Kelly from Lennar. He is from Lennar. He's the title area sales manager. Is that right, Kelly?
Yes.
And we're so grateful for your time, Kelly. Come on up. He is from Lennar, from one of the top home builders in the nation. So he's going to talk to us about the communities that they have, and then also some opportunities for new construction that we can have. Yay! Please help me welcome him.
I'm just handing out some information on a little promo we have right now where we can partner with everyone in this room, so y'all can sell some for a little bit more money.
Help you pass those
Oh,
out.
sweet. Here you go. Yeah, okay. All right.
Awesome.
Boom. Thank you. Thanks for letting me be here today. These numbers are great, looking at these numbers. We're very number driven at Lennar, so we're always doing something to try to help buyers get in the homes, make it work for them. So just a little bit about me and the business. I've been doing this for a little over 30 years. Worked for Mike Ferry for a little bit, probably heard of him, sold homes to two of his two boys back in the day. But I've been on the management side and the sales side. I like both sides, but in both worlds. It's a very exciting business to be in, and especially when we have the opportunity to work with the realtor community. Lennar's business model is kind of a hybrid between new home and resale, because our team is not locked into one community. We're moving all around and working with as many buyers as possible. So it's an opportunity for Lennar to partner with the broker community to get, to help us get numbers, and then hopefully it's also an opportunity for you. Every home that we have on the market, you can almost think of as one of your listings, because we are offering referral fees for homes that are available anytime between now and November, December. We also doubled on that little sheet there. We doubled our broker referral fees to an amount that for homes that are closing in August. Now, we may bounce that again at the end of that month. You never know. Sometimes we'll do that. We'll just roll these things over. But right now, with our agents, I've managed about 21 agents in 19 neighborhoods, and we always try to use the leverage of time and that this deal is going to go away, and that helped us sell about 100 homes last month. We try to hit about 100 homes a month in our community. So based on that, an opportunity for all of us. So Lennar is I've worked for several different home builders, sold Promontory up in Savita, I don't know if you all know that community, for the new home company. Well, and I've been with Lennar for about a year, and the business model is different than any other builder I've ever been with because it's a pace-based builder. So what that means is most new home builders will kind of get a gauge for sales and the market, and they'll base their phase releases, the groups of homes that they release at a time, accordingly. Lennar does not. They don't pay attention to the market. We pay attention to our construction schedules, and we don't adjust it on market conditions. So this market that we've been experiencing, we go in, we go a few weeks, we go a month, hey, something's happening, and then we start to realize, oh shoot, we're in a dip. We're in a dip, but we got to get out of it. But Lennar doesn't change their goals or their pace. We change prices, and we change incentives, and we have to go down sometimes to find that market. So based on that, we will help your buyers get into those homes. We'll go very, very deep compared to other builders and compared to what a lot of people, individual homeowners can't offer, a 499 30-year fix with a 2-1 buy down attached to it. So there's advantages that if you have your kind of finger on the pulse of a builder like Lennar, and it's all on the website. I didn't bring the website up today because there's so much on there, but it's just an opportunity to, if they're looking for something new or they want something quick, maybe if they're financing, they can't quite qualify, maybe we can get them into something that they might not have been able to get into something before because of an incentive or a closing cost that we're offering. We have buyer assistance programs, so we do everything we can. We leave no stone unturned until that buyer is either we can get them in a home or they can't. So how it works is you would bring your buyer in on their first visit. So you want to physically take them to the sales office, one of our sales centers, on their first visit, and they get registered with one of our NHCs, our new home counselors, and that's it. You can be as involved or not as involved as you want. You can drop them off and we take the rest, or you can be right there when they're signing the purchase agreement, whatever works best for you and that client. But we try to make it streamlined, we try to make it easy. We'll take everything from there, as far as managing the construction, managing options. One nice thing about Lennar, everything is included, which means everything but you get standard flooring, but you can upgrade the flooring. That's like basically the only choice they have to make. We went to that model about 7 years ago because our research showed us that the more decisions someone has to make in the process, the less their satisfaction rate is. So we try to, the downside is they can't customize their home as much as they might with another builder, but we offer a very high level of upgrades that are included in the home. So back to the process. Have a client, maybe they saw us on the website, you bring them on their first visit and register them. If they'd already been to the neighborhood, you wouldn't qualify for a referral fee. So that can be a sticky point out there. Sometimes it's reality, but it goes to, we used to call it procuring cause. So our referral fees amounts aren't really in any of our incentive buckets. It's a marketing bucket internally with the company. So it's like an advertising fee. So how did this unit of traffic, make it into our community? Was it advertising? Was it a realtor? So that's how we look at it. So it's not really, we don't mix the incentives and referral fees at all. They're completely separate. So most builders are the same way. So let's see. Bring them in, register them. Then we have the close date. You would work with the new home sales counselor that's on site. And they do a 2-minute explanation of how we're set up. We spend about $40,000 a week on leads, and they all come in and they round robin to our 20 NHCs. So it is a competitive floor in that aspect. They may have 5 different neighborhoods within a 10-mile radius that's in their hub, it's in their area of influence. So when a buyer comes in, if there's a detached home or an attached home or a 55 plus, which is, we have a whole bunch of those in the county that we really can start selling more. they can take them wherever that home, find the home that fits for them. So we've got probably 100 homes on the market right now. Probably 40 of them are quick move-ins. So our sales counselor can take them to any one of those homes, whichever one might fit. So in that way, it's not like you're driving all over the place, right? And trying to find the home that fits. And so that we're kind of the same way, but limited to the new home side. So, but if you get a relationship with one of the NHCs, one of our new home counselors, they'll keep, half the time that morning, like, okay, we're going to do this for the next 4 days. And an incentive goes out or a price reduction goes out. They can, you can kind of cross-pollinate that way there. So that's basically it. Yeah.
I went to go visit Ren at the June.
Ren, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's a 55 plus.
Yes, it is.
And it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
There's a lot of new agents in here, so I'm sure a lot of them haven't done new construction before. You guys handle title, escrow, lending, everything in order to get those incentives, correct?
We do. Well, yes, we do. But to get the incentives, so two things. On our Lennar mortgage, we have Lennar mortgage, so we'll have an incentive package where say it's like our standard Lennar mortgage incentive is $7,500. It's pretty much that at every neighborhood that we have.
Right.
So if you use Lennar mortgage, here's a little something to keep you in-house.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's a volume management, so that assists with that more than the cost. It's more of we can.
Right.
But there are tons of outside lenders that people use anyway. So they have that, but then we'll have an additional incentive. Typically, it's going to be something like 10 grand. Our lowest one right now is 10,000 towards a design center credit. Design center, it's a profit center for us too, so it's not really 10, but how that goes.
And that means upgrades, basically?
Upgrades, yeah, so like the flooring. So for the flooring or window coverings, things like that. In some cases, we may also offer, in addition to that $7,500, these interest rate buy downs, which cost 40, 50 grand a pop sometimes. I mean, they're expensive. Or in lieu of that, if they're FHA, VA, a lot of these financing programs, you got 20% down. We're in a lot of markets where that's just not a reality for people. So we maybe won't use that specific rate, but we'll take kind of the value of it. We may max out at 6. We could go, okay, we could do 6% incentives on the home, however you want to cut it up. So that is separate than the $7,500. So you can use an outside lender and still get all these other incentives. It's just that basic $7,500 that is with the lender. Now with title, escrow title, Lennar title, we have everything in house. Technically, the person can use whoever they want. We will do everything possible to keep them in the title, because that becomes, we'll say, what's the cost difference? Are you getting savings? Somebody at a time, we'll pay that difference, because truly, even more than on the lender side, that streamline is real important. So, but yes, so $7,500 on our mortgage, everything else, whatever you want to use. Yeah.
And if we wanted to go shoot videos for our YouTube channel, is that okay?
Yes. Now my other builders, like, no, we want to control it. Marketing wants to control this. We want to have our name on here. We've had some brokers with some really killer stuff, and like, hey, whatever brings people in. Yeah.
So I'm a newer agent.
All right.
You would say in the past, but I've been back for 6 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Welcome back to the hustle.
Perfect timing, huh?
Yeah.
So you mentioned marketing. Can you provide us with some marketing materials?
So we wouldn't. So it'd have to be the personal video.
You can go on site and shoot it.
You can. Yeah. We've had people do that. We don't really. So most of the time we don't even know. So if our marketing, we'll typically see we have a marketing part. They check all this stuff out, and if there's something that they feel is maybe not appropriate or whatever, they'll reach out to the individual. But I can't remember the last time that happened, because y'all do good stuff. The whole purpose is.
Well, who would they contact to do that, or do they just go into the office and say, hey, I'm here?
Well, so with Lennar, we don't have the traditional, here's our models, here's that converted garage, and here's our sales office, and there are 2 people in there. We have live desks in various models where an HC can sit and do work, but everything else self-guided tours. So we capture every lead. Secret, self-guided tours. So you can do your self-guided tour, we're going to catch it, but in our lead, we'll probably reach out to you. But then you can go in and do your video, yeah.
Do you have information in Spanish by any chance?
I could get some. Yeah, for sure. Yes.
What's your policy about a client that comes in that has a house to sell before they qualify?
So great. That's a great question. And we call it home HTS and HTC, home to sell, home to close. We do contingencies. We've been doing a lot more of them over the past 4 months. You mentioned cancellations. We've been getting our nice waves of cancellations as well. But we do it. We'll take contingencies. Typically, we prefer those on homes that maybe are like October, November, a little bit further out. So when they come in and leave a deposit, assuming they leave a deposit, it's a home to sell. So their home is listed with you, and they're going to sell it. If it doesn't sell within the contingency period, which is usually about 3 weeks, then they get their deposit. The contingency protects their deposit as far as that goes. So typically, we've had on my list, I've had contingencies since late May through just last week, and we track them. We get reports, what's the activity, and if it's just not, if they're getting activity on showings, great. But if nothing's happening, we may send a notice to perform, which means, buy it, or let's move you to a future phase. If this one's almost complete, why don't we find another home? We'll move you to a future phase. You can just continue that
So you
contingency.
do that, that's pretty.
Oh yeah, we want to keep everybody on there because contingencies are people too, right?
I've been in new sales and they tell you things like if you don't remove your contingencies in like 2 weeks, you're out, so.
I'll tell you,
That was when they were like long lists.
well, see, that's the difference. This market changes the game. It changes the game, and we move with the market. And elephant in the room. Lennar didn't used to. When I started with them in September last year, we didn't do co-op, and we were one of the only
A lot of people are like,
I know. And other people we always. So our division president really worked. It took him a while, but he really worked hard. He was pushing for us to get this back. So we finally did. Now we're doing something where we're doubling it a little bit to kind of getting it up where it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hear you with all that. But yeah, so that hopefully we're gonna, and that was actually we got that before this market hit. So it's probably more legit, yeah. So hopefully we stay with
Okay, here's a question everybody wants to know.
Oh yeah.
Suppose somebody comes in without an agent and they have a house to sell.
They come in, which happens. So some builders will have a home buyer contingency program. They'll have a third party that will manage contingencies for that very case. We don't. They come in, they have a home to sell, then we're like, we'll go get an agent, and sell the house.
You don't have anybody that you.
But we wouldn't pay that referral.
Sorry.
So like if that happens, yeah, we prefer. There are little companies out there that used to do that for a home builder to refer all that business to them, and it was all very structured and everything. But if that happens, and say they want to buy, and they come in, they go back to you and go, hey, I found a new home, I want to buy it, and can you list my home? Like, cool, I'll do it. And then you come in, you wouldn't qualify for the referral. So that's
the bitter truth.
the great way to describe it. It's the bitter
But I was
truth.
just wondering if you have any program for
We
for any agents.
We don't. I tried one with Berkshire Hathaway one time myself, and there was too much competition. But yeah, it is a good little business.
So, for new agents in the room, I come in, first time, first appointment, I
Yep.
sign my client up, I'm there, we do the thing, and some time lapses. They're not ready to go yet, it's 2-3 months down the road,
Yep.
they're ready to go back, they pop back in because we were already there the first time.
Right.
Do I have to re-sign them up again at a certain time frame? How long does that first sign-in last?
So 2 layers to that. We use Salesforce.
Okay.
Salesforce is the all-seeing eye, so it will always be connected to you in the system. The realtor attached a client. The registration that you complete when you go in is good, I believe, it's like 60 days. So we haven't, the only time, so it comes in 6 months later, we're not looking back at these forms going, well, okay, you've got the realtor. We only really use that 60-day limit is if a buyer comes in and they go, I'm switching, I'm switching my agent for whatever reason, and we wouldn't do it unless it was past that 60 days, because we would, regardless, we'd stick that. We would rather walk from a sale than not honor that. We're very stringent on our policies. So.
So that's the reason for the 60 days. I was
60
That's a
days,
great
and sometimes, it's markets change, maybe we do more, maybe we do less, but it's if it's a quicker market and we want urgency, maybe we do 30 days, but really you brought them in, you were procuring cause, it really all goes back to that, you were the reason they were there, so
So it doesn't matter the time that passes, it will still be associated.
you still be
Unless they
associated.
It
don't
does
want
matter
to.
if they go back in without you and you don't have them sign under that contract, it does matter, because then you no longer qualify.
Like the second time after 6 months?
Yes. So.
No, you still would, you would want, so we'd say, hey, I see you have an agent, so it could drop off after the 60, but we
Have records.
typically will honor it because we want, especially if you and the buyer have a good relationship.
Right.
You legit were the reason they came in, so.
Yeah.
So if they go in without you, basically you'll say, okay, I see you have an agent, Jacqueline, are you still working with? I guess that's would be, and if they say yes, then great, you're still good. And if they say no,
Just make sure that, I can't think of a time since I've been here that we've had a buyer who was registered and they came in like 4 or 5 months later and they bought and there was no referral fees, I can call it referral fee, that we missed it somehow. Because usually it's right there on the side of the screen here, but yeah. But make sure, so that's a good question. I don't know if I answered the question completely, but
I do.
The little-
Keep in touch with your buyer, so.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Please, like our leads
That's
drop
our
off after
point.
21 days.
Yeah.
21 days, you don't have
That's
it's anyone's lead if you haven't followed up with them. If you follow up with them in 21 days, they're always yours. So follow up, yeah.
Well, you can follow up and they can still drop by because they've been working with the sales associate. This is
Yeah,
more a tale of it happened to me in the past. So just make sure
Yeah.
that in your follow-up, they're not going in without you under the impression that when you first met, the sales associate said to them, I'm now your person, you can come in whenever you want. But then if you don't go under contract within that initial time period,
Right.
you
They can come in
go
as much
back
as they
in with
want,
them.
yeah,
Right.
but-
That's where the confusion was. I'm only saying it lesson learned from my first year in the business.
Mhm.
Stay in touch with them. Don't just pass them off to the sales associate, even though they've said that, until they're under contract. It's not that. Once they're
Contract,
under
you can
contract, then it's fine.
Yeah, automatic.
I didn't understand that nuance. I was trying to clarify that
Yeah.
for more people.
That's really good, thank you. And
Yeah, so, I take my client to Chula Vista. I
Yes.
register them in Chula Vista.
Yep.
But your in-house sales associate ends up taking him to another site.
So if you take them to Andon
Uh-huh.
in Chula Vista, and he registers, and then comes back and is like, hey man, I'm looking at Mid-County, I want to go up to 55 Pleasant Junipers, and it goes up there. That is a great question. That registration, you're already the lead owner of it in the system, and you are connected to that buyer. So I haven't had that happen yet, but it's going to. Obviously, that's going to happen. I need to get that question clarified because
Because your in-house sales reps can pretty much take him to any of
they
your sites,
can.
right?
They try to stay within their hubs. We have a South County, Mid County, North County, but that buyer could on their own pop up and want to buy up there. But they'll be connected to you in the system. So we would reach out to you. You introduce them to Sunbo, but you've introduced them to Lennar as well. So,
Yeah, because.
but I'll circle back and I'll get that
And-
answer for
and-
you because that's a great question. I
Yeah,
don't have
because the
100%
reason I'm
answer.
thinking is if I'm gonna take anyone to the site, I wanna make sure that they understand that, once they're exposed to this site, they're gonna be exposed to other sites
Yeah.
that,
Well, like
I wanna
within,
say the loop, right? And it goes
Yeah.
back to communication, right, with your client, right? But also our clients, right? And they will talk to whoever's supporting them for that questions, and we are not in control of that conversation, right? And who knows if they say, well, this might not be the best fit for you, but maybe this other product is the best fit for you, and
our
we
prior-
right?
Mhm, and our sales team's trained to do that.
You got us. Yeah, so
Yes, we're just trying to find them the home.
Of course.
Yeah,
And that's a good reminder too, that
great question.
this is specifically for Lennar. So if your clients are looking in other communities outside of other builders, make sure you know the structure that Kelly is kind enough to explain to us for Lennar, But remember, it's not the same for everyone. So
It's
you
not,
affect your clients as well, and just be sure to ask those questions. And could you explain a little bit about, so when I had first heard about this dynamic of a realtor bringing in a client to a sales office.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that we would get potentially get a referral fee.
yes,
So it's not a cooperating broker because they're not acting, we wouldn't be acting as their agents, as their realtors, correct?
correct.
Could you talk a little bit about how,
Yes,
so
exactly.
that our newer agents can?
So since we look at it, and most home builders are the same way, unless you're like in Texas, but we look at it as it was a traffic source. So versus a kind of a business relationship. So it's a traffic source, expensive one, but it was a traffic source, good. And so it's a referral fee. We send it straight to the broker. One thing we don't do, other builders will, is like, hey, I want to slice off $3,000 for a closing cost for my client. We won't do that. We just send the whole thing up to your broker, and then whatever y'all want to do after that. So that there isn't really any kind of a more synchronicity than that, unless you want there to be. If you want to be more involved in the transaction with that buyer and with our NHC home counselor, you can, or you can drop and go. It's once they go to purchase agreement, but there isn't any additional it's just we're just paying a referral fee at the close.
And I think for the most part, most of our agents would like to be more involved in just dropping and going, just by the nature of our agents and our culture. So it's not a problem that but we're just not typically doing we're not writing up an offer. We're not, or are we? Right? It's not. We're not involved in that aspect.
You can be. So we do lots of offers right now in this market. So we have our incentives, which are great, but isn't really not enough for a lot of people. Like, well, can I get this? Well, can I get a year of HOA dues, or solar is a big one, a very expensive one. So we'll either go, if the buyer has an agent, typically the agent will come back with the offer, and our agent will give, this is probably what we can do, this is what we did that on the last one or whatever.
So we can negotiate for them.
Yes. Not really so much on like November, December closings, but quick move-ins, in the next 60 days. We do not want to leave any stone unturned. Yeah. There's so much we can do, but yeah.
Okay, and who would we negotiate with?
So it goes to our
NHC.
It goes to NHC. They bounce it to myself and my boss, the VP of Sales. She'll run margin analysis, and if we can do it, we'll do it.
And one last question about the NHC. I'm sorry, Judy. You had mentioned establish a good relationship with them. How do we do that? Is there
just I would say just visit the sales office, kind of know the community, just have some general knowledge of it, for your clients, and just say, hey, I have a client that's interested in coming, or I just wanted to check these out for any clients I might have that might be interested, and that way then, because it's all like the phone numbers we have on all of our material goes to our internet sales counselors. So it's this team in the bullpen in the main office. It does not go to our new home counselors, which are the boots on the ground. So they have their card with their cell phone number that goes there. So that's a good, because you can't really get it unless you're there in front of them. It's just how we're set up, for better or worse. But that way, like Ren, I was trying to get her to come today, but she had appointments. She's been killing quite well lately. But so that way you have that. So you have a contact there. That's not this general number and that way, if they know you have clients for business or friends who have clients in business, they will reach out to you with any deals that we have coming down the pipe, because there'll be a meeting on Monday morning and Nicole will come out, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 we're doing these things on these homes, and so so things like that.
I have explained many times to my potential buyers or my actual clients about what they need to do if they want to see new construction. And a lot of them, they really do not realize the consequences of signing a guest book. So I'm just saying, they don't know what they're giving away. They may want to work with me, or any of us, they may intend to work with us.
Yeah.
But when they come into the sales office and not knowing these particular facts, that they must come in with us
That
the
is
first
true.
time.
That is true.
I've explained it to them many times that they just see the ad and they go, oh, and by the way, I went to such and such. I went, well, that's nice. So you could have told me and then I would have gone with you. Now I can't represent you anymore.
You're out. That was a great case example. And what happens is, so we have all the self-guided tours on all the models. The second they use their phone to use a QR code to get in there, it's a lead into our system. And that moment in time, if they haven't registered with you previous, it's so just cut and dried at that point, because there's a date, there's a person with a realtor or not, and that's how.
So even if we have a BRBC, you still would not
We
honor it.
wouldn't.
Oh,
We wouldn't.
I've
But no, we have.
talked people into it.
Yeah, we've now we don't make any exceptions to because otherwise everyone that we held firm with, it's just but we do take offers.
I'm just saying. They don't know.
They don't know, and that happens a lot because they'll see a model
Even
sign
when
come
we
in.
explain it to them,
Yeah,
they may not get it.
that's one of the bugs in the system.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
Oh no, this happens.
I'm giving you a hard time.
No. So
My clients that have bought with Lennar
Yep.
are very happy. They love their homes.
all right.
One of the things at the time when I was looking with these two particular clients is the tech package was pretty good. Like in terms of what you were saying, what basically came with the home they didn't have to upgrade to.
Right.
That was one of the things Lennar talked a lot about when we were doing our home tours.
Yeah.
Is that still something that Lennar kind of helps them stand out from other communities, or
Yes.
what is it that makes you guys different right now?
So EI, everything's included.
Okay.
So basically the only thing you would need to select with, sometimes you could do a custom backsplash or upgraded flooring, but everything comes with all. The advantage of that is we do that nationwide, so we have cost of scale. So what is included, like these countertops, they have thicker edges, and there's actually upgraded, they would be like a mid-level upgrade for another builder, would be already included. So can't go beyond that, but that's the advantage. We can build quicker, we can deliver quicker, we can hit our schedules easier. Our subs, been with other builders, that slow down, the market's fading, we're gonna hold on, we're not gonna release this next phase, we're gonna hold off on the build. All the subcontractors, they go away. Lennar does not stop building, so we have continuity of our trades showing up, and we give them so much business and it's consistent that this just speaks to the delivery. So all of that combined helps us hit our dates, and for the most part, it's new home construction, so there's going to be delays here and there, but yeah. So that really helps us kind of be a big player out there. So.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
I thought
Your time's up,
was
Kelly.
like, yeah, I know.
That's you've been doing this for like 20 minutes.
I thought this is about time.
I know, I can ramble, I can keep rambling.
Any other questions or, Kelly, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
my pleasure.
Do we have, and also he brought in sandwiches for us, so thank
Oh,
you
thank you.
so much for.
Not running enough food, so.
You had mentioned that you're open to people calling you.
100%, yeah, you got my contact info if you want to. That's the one thing I
Do I know, do we
Why
have?
don't I just write it on
I
the
don't
board
think-
and we can.
Oh, I have from the email, Kelly, is that
You
what
got
you're
it?
talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
oh,
So I can,
sorry.
yes, we'll
You
pass
want
it on and
to?
we'll
Yeah.
email it out
Okay.
and, if you want to write it, actually, do you want to go ahead and write it on the whiteboard or the? But thank you so much, Kelly, this has been
My
great.
pleasure.
Thank you. One more applause for Kelly.
Thank you all. This is not for the faint of heart, this business that we're in, right?
Yeah.
Makes it fun.
Gotta make it fun. My days in Orange County. All right, cool. Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a
Kelly.
great rest of your
Thank you.
view.
Thank you,
Good
Kelly.
luck to who's gonna come up here and spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Good job. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, great.
What does it say?
Okay. So let's bring our awesome agents up. So let's welcome Bridget Potterton, John Fields, Amy Blue, and Chris Day.
Don't move the camera.
All right, so thank you so much for participating in this. I know everything was kind of last minute in some sense, and we really appreciate you. So we know that we've been in this kind of weird market, right? We're definitely in a shift, and who better to ask from, what's working now than from agents who are actually actively getting business and what they're doing. So we're going to have a couple questions for them, and then hopefully we'll have time for some questions from our guests or from our attendees. Okay, so who would like to start with the first question? The first question is, take a guess. Take a wild guess. Okay, what systems, leverage, or tools have made the biggest impact on your time, income, or scalability in the last 12 months, but really I'd like to specifically make it in this market, because the 12 months we've seen different things happen. So specifically in this market, what systems, leverage, or tools have made the biggest impact on your time, income, or scalability? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, the first thing that popped into my head is something that I've been trying to do for a long time now, probably the last 5-10 years. I'm trying to be more intentional about, but especially now, is when I start working with a client and I'm asking for who else they know at that time, I try to start asking for referrals from them. You have to do it in the right way, but start asking for referrals from them at the first meeting, and then another time later in the transaction. Usually sometime right before we're about to close, so everyone's usually pretty happy at that time. So I'm leveraging existing clients to ask for their business during the time that they're thinking about it most, because I know a lot of times we think, I did such a good job for that client. Why don't I never get referrals from them? How do I get referrals, right? And I find that the best time to get them is while they're engaged and in the process. So
almost like setting up the expectation ahead of time, just like you would anything else in the transaction. That's part of the transaction. Do you ever ask, for set the expectation that you'll be hopefully getting a review from them? Do you ever mention
I
that?
ask for reviews at the end of every transaction, but I'm not setting up the expectation during the deal. I have an email that I send out once it's closed, asking for reviews, and I send the links to the pages that I have reviews on. So
Okay.
that's huge too. Having online reviews is obviously important.
And I know, John, you had in our personal conversations, you had mentioned that some things in this market you have are not so different in what you're doing, but maybe could you tell us a little bit about that? Some are the same, because sometimes we come in here expecting, they're going to give us this novel idea, and it really comes down to sometimes it's the same activity, but I'll let you.
I think a lot of times with these panels, you expect to hear something that's going to be groundbreaking and that we have some golden ticket or some nugget that's going to change things. But I think maybe Chris always seems to have something. But for me, it's just I think especially when the market gets harder like this or slower is not, for me, it's not changing things up. You have to start doing some things differently, but for me that looks like just doubling down on what I'm already doing, which is it's not complicated. It's just staying in touch with past clients and having conversations with people. I know it sounds like duh, but I don't do anything more than that really. I'm not buying leads. I'm not doing anything like that. It's just being more intentional about asking for business and really taking care of the people that I work with so that I earn the referrals from them. But it's really just not flinching when the market slows down, just trying to stay the course and push through it.
And I think you brought up a great point too, is not necessarily doing anything different, because that may be counterproductive.
Yeah, you have to kind of start over when you're doing something different. You have to reinvent the wheel, and that might take 6 months on its own. If business was really slow when the market was crazier too, then maybe there's something you need to look at doing differently. But if you were having success and then now it's slowed down, I think the the knee-jerk reaction is to just change everything, and I don't think that's necessarily the right answer.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Amy?
To be honest, I can't say that there's any really specific system or tool that I've used differently. And I have to agree with John. You know what? This isn't rocket science. We know what to do, and what's always worked for me in the past through any market. I've been doing this for over 30 years, so I've been through the ups and downs 3 times already. And I know that my consistency in the way I run my business, the consistency in my lead generation, the consistency in my follow-up, the consistency in how I handle my transactions, and that's my system. So rather than letting go of the system or trying to find that new shiny object that might take 6 months to pull in business from, work the system that I know works and do it twice as much. Like I reiterate what John said. Honestly, we know what to do. What's always worked for me has been my database and how often I call them and what conversations do I have. So keeping sharp on those tools, keeping sharp on what the market is doing, knowing what conversations and how to answer the questions, going to the trainings and learning those conversations, that's what keeps our business going. So I can't have the conversation with my buyers and sellers that I had a year ago because it's a completely different experience. I can't price my listings the way I did a year ago. It's a completely different buyer. So keeping up on that for sure, but doing what I do best and just doing more of it and having those intentional conversations when I do it.
And Amy, I know even with that, I know you and I know your business, and you've really almost like, yes, you've been doing this for over 30 years, so you have your way of doing things, and you've been consistent, and you've been, like you said, but at the same time you keep up with the market, you keep up with the different conversations that we have to have. I also recognize that you were very focused at one time because you said it yourself, your database is your main source of business. I remember you almost hyper focusing on that, and I believe from the outside, when you were really cleaning it up and cleaning up the database and making it, fine-tuning it, that's really propelled your business as well.
Oh,
right? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I do my database calls only. I so prospect on occasion, I open house on occasion. Those don't work for me. If they work for you, keep doing them. Don't do what I do or what John does or anybody else. Do what's working for you. But with my database, I had actually learned from Chris on the DTD2 because he's a big database as well. And the DTD2 is two letters out of your database a week that you call. So I'll look at my database, and I was doing kind of an A through Z, dividing it by how many days for the quarter I'm going to work. I mean, it just got too confusing. DTD2, if I have 20 people in A and W, I call 20 people that week. If I have 200, I call 200. But every time I make my calls, I go through my entire database every quarter, I purge probably 20 people this week. I met them at an open house. I don't have their email. They haven't returned a text. They read my texts. Yeah. I'm getting 0 from them. I'm not going to waste my time chasing them when I have other people who know me. My husband can go, hey, I'm calling because Amy, da-da-da. Oh my God, how's Amy? They'll know who he's talking about. So the people in my database know me, and they will respond. I'm not going to chase the people that have ignored me for 6 months. If I have their email and I put them on my drip system, I do a couple of different automatic email. I do the smart plan that comes with Command. I do HomeBot, which gives them a more specific to their property valuation. And I also have a personal newsletter that I send out. If I see that they're opening those, I'll keep them. If they're opening them, I'll keep them, because one day, Sherry knows this just happened to her recently, one day, 5 years later, they'll call you up and go, oh my gosh, thank you so much for all the information, I'm ready to sell. So I'm not going to chase the ones that I don't get any response from at all. So yes, I pare it down. I just, at the beginning of July, I had 779 in my database. I now have 665. So I've added a bunch and I've deleted a whole bunch more. I want to just really fine tune. We need 10 in our database that could really carry our business if we're really precise about it.
What are you doing to add?
Just people I meet. Okay. So we went to a neighborhood happy hour that we do. The neighborhood does a happy hour every 2 weeks, and there's a woman who sends out neighborhood updates. She's not a realtor, and I always reply. I reply as much as I can. And my real estate secretary at the last happy hour, she said, You and Gary are the realtors. I haven't met you in person. How would you like to be our neighborhood realtor? Because the lady who used to live there, who I know very well, she moved out, she dropped off the face of the earth. She ended up sending out an email to the whole neighborhood. It's BCC, so I don't have everyone's address, but that's where it starts. So because she showed an interest, I said, you know what, I'd love to start with you. Can I give you this information? It's a free service. I put them on HomeBot. She gets my newsletters. And through that interaction, I get to meet people. We went to the happy hour Friday night. They're like, are you the realtors that she just sent the email out? That was brilliant. So I got to meet about 8 people at the happy hour. Guess who goes on my database? I didn't get everybody's contact information because I'm not that, I told them, she told me to bring business cards and brochures, and I'm like, I'm not that agent. If you like me and you want to get to know me, I would be happy to exchange contact information. Brochures, right?
Flyers.
So just people that I meet, if we have a real estate conversation, I get their permission to add them to my database.
Do you wear anything Keller Williams and Gary so that way you stand out a little bit?
No way.
No.
I do not want to be that person. And that's why my business works, because I'm
Authentic
thank you.
to you.
Yeah.
So Amy, going to the database point, so I don't know if it was Jason Abrams or Gary Keller who had mentioned at one point that when we're focusing on our database, what we fail to realize sometimes is that when we're focusing on the wrong people, chasing after, like you say, the wrong people, we're ignoring the ones who do know and trust us and would love to hear from us and would respond. So we have to be careful not to be deliberate, like you said, and not to
Don't spend time on the people. And yes, I mean, it's important to be in touch with them.
Right.
But if I have
Maybe
half
put
an
them on
hour
automated.
and I'm looking through my list, I'm going to call the most important people on that list. And I'll get back to the others later if I have time.
Or maybe put them on like an automated.
Yes. I mean, they're all on an auto drive. Yeah, auto text.
Awesome, thank you. Chris?
I'm going to be extremely brief because we have 7 minutes, and I knew this would happen.
Because neither of us like to talk.
I do open houses, and I do 2 to 3 a week. You don't have to ask me any more questions.
Okay,
beyond that.
Chris.
The other thing I do, don't ask me any more questions because Bridget's sitting here, and I don't want her time wasted, is I do my database, but I do a lot of social media, and I just friend all the people I meet on social media. I keep in touch with them that way. That's it. You can ask Bridget the question.
So I thought your question was about systems and so I'm not sure what happened there. I'll go back to that one.
So what's
Bring it back.
making the biggest impact on your time as far as systems, leverage, or tools, which I do believe they did touch on their systems.
So systems, there's actually a lot of good stuff in Command. Command has a lot of functional things that you can customize. I run probably half my business is very different from a traditional realtor, and I needed to customize a lot, and Command allowed me to do that, luckily, for the business that I get from attorneys, which I run completely different from my traditional business. Systems, we're completely revamping our systems because I hired a chief success officer in January, and even though my systems I thought were pretty darn good, according to him, they were less than stellar. He used different language. So we're revamping a lot. I use Slack a lot. I was spending way too much time in my email. Now I don't even like my email. My goal is to get out of my email completely, maybe in the next year or two. And then leverage. So I realize probably most of you are solo agents. I am also a solo agent with an admin team. I would say that if you're doing, maybe not a lot of deals yet, wait to hire, but hire somebody as soon as you can, and maybe start with the VA. The minute that you can hire somebody, there's a lot of agents that do a decent amount of business that are still doing their own transaction coordinating, that are still doing, putting up their own signs and things like that, which, no judgment, but that's not a good use of your time. If you calculate per year how much you make and then divide it out per hour, you should be probably up there, or your goal should be to be up there. Is it a good use of your time to put up signs? Is it a good use of your time to make your flyers? If you've never done a transaction, then hey, you're everything. You're your assistant, you're your agent, you're your TC maybe. But I would say as soon as you can, get out of that, because you are going to be bogged down with the minutia of the little things. The other thing I would say, back to the difficulties of this market, this is a tough market no matter how much you're selling or what you're doing. And if I can give you any advice, it would be keep your head down and focus on work, because you see on social media, if you follow other realtors, buying Maseratis, buying new cars. Who cares? They may be in way more debt than you are.
It's
They're not buying, they're leasing, they're just stacking.
Well, and whatever, that's fine. I mean, I know my CPA tells me to lease too, but don't get caught up in the noise of this industry, because before you know it, you're going to be buying yourself $5,000 bags just to keep up with the Joneses. I will tell you, I've sold several multi-million-dollar homes this year, and I did them wearing Costco pants. Okay, so you do not need to.
That's where I got these.
See, there you go. You
Costco.
don't feel like you need to get caught up in our industry, because there's a lot of stuff that will mess with your mind. Ignore the noise, put your head down, and just do the work. That's it.
Great. So, Chris, we have 3 minutes. So I'm going to go back to you, and I'm going to actually ask the last question, which I think we can fit it in 3 minutes. So what's your favorite way to get new clients right now? I know that you do some really cool stuff. Take it away.
It's not new, it's open houses. That's where I get the bulk of my clients. I
Okay.
mean, guys, this is not rocket science, like Amy said, just do the work.
But is that your favorite way, Chris? The question is, what's
It's
your favorite?
not my favorite way, it's my easiest way. I mean, I talk to people. Tommy watched me this weekend. I was awesome, and he actually he told me.
You said you were right.
I was better at it than Sal was. And so
Who said that? You said that or Tommy said that?
he said that. He said, yeah, I was way better. And
I said what?
that I was way
I'm gonna start
better.
that.
I talked to so many people. But anyway, no, that's not my favorite way. My favorite way is through social media. I do a lot of social media.
Right.
And I communicate with people that way. I have picked up several clients off that.
Awesome.
But I do it purposefully, not. I don't
One time.
I don't post to just post. I post with intention.
And so this is a plug for Bold. That's what's awesome about this new Bold, is that it actually touches on social media. So take it from one of the pros, social media works. Okay, who would like to answer the question? What's your favorite way of getting new clients right now?
Well, it's honestly 99% of my way is calling the people I know. Calling my friends, calling my clients.
But is that your favorite?
It is my favorite way, because you know what, you call it.
She answered the question.
No, because you call the client 3 months after their closing. I mean, you talk to them in between, but you call them 3 months after closing and they go, guess what, we're pregnant.
You gotta sell
We
the
got
house.
engaged. Yeah, you need to sell the house, you need to book the place. Like, that's the best way, and like, I like to talk to my people. They're my friends, you guys. They should be our friends. And the referrals that you get from just keeping in touch with your people, that is my favorite way. We get referrals so often from people because of that.
Very good. Thank you. And Bridget and John?
I'm just gonna end
Say
up
it.
mimicking exactly what I
Oh,
said.
okay. You call your database?
I mean,
I
that's
didn't
the
know you were
only way I
that
get
used to.
business. I stopped doing open houses. I think, I'll do them on my own listings, like here and there, but once I got off the open house train, I didn't seem to get back on it, but that was how I initially got business. And now, because I'm fortunate enough to have past clients and people to stay in touch with, I just work that. But
And-
yeah, so it's not really much to
Okay.
tell to the group.
All right. Well, thank you. Bridget, I know that you do a lot of divorce and through your niche and with attorneys, but what's your favorite way? Is that your favorite way?
No, so I gave up, I quit working weekends. I just don't want to work weekends anymore, for the most part. There's a few times I break that rule, but most of the time I don't work weekends, so my stuff has to happen during the week. But I would say my favorite is client parties, and then also when I was at family reunion this year, I got this idea from another agent, so I started doing a monthly brew with Bridget where I go sit at a coffee shop for 2 hours and I invite my database. And almost every single time I do one, I get a listing out of it, which is shocking, right? I'm shocked too. But it's like somebody who's been thinking about it, or oh, by the way, I know somebody, or they'll bring somebody. So, and that cost me about, I mean, it's not like a lot of people show up. It probably cost me $30 a month to do that. My client parties are a lot more expensive, but yeah, those are my favorite.
So the brew with Bridget, that's probably a lot less intimidating for them than an actual listing presentation.
Well,
right?
that and people will show up who have never come to a client party.
Yeah, because some people just don't like to be in that many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bounce around like in different parts of the county, change it up.
I love that.
You can steal it.
That's a
You
great.
can do it.
Well, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause.